Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Great. So to start, a show like Laid is so much fun for to me, just because I like the idea of like, well, we see men having to always go back in shows and tell women like about some sexually transmitted disease. And I like the idea this is that these men are going to die and she does not know how or when, but they're dying. For you guys, how was it to like get to bring a story like that to life and let a woman kind of have that moment versus a guy like we've seen over and over again.
It was so fun. I mean, we based this off the Australian format, so they did 2 seasons of the show. We love the premise, but for us, like, yeah, a woman having to go back and tell these men, give these men like a bad, very serious piece of news, but also not really having any information around that, we thought was quite funny. So it's like, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, but it is going to happen. And just like people dismissing her or whatever. And, just the idea of being able to write this character was super appealing and funny to us.
And also for her to be like, do you remember me? Like having to just go back the awkward interactions with any ex, whether it was a long relationship, short, whether it ended well, poorly, and having to get over that weirdness and then deliver some news.
I was telling Sally that I told a person about the premise of this, that everybody, that her exes start dying. And the person was like, oh my God, that sounds like a dream. They were like, I was like, that's such a funny, yeah. She was like, I want them all dead. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, amazing.
That person was probably a Scorpio. I say as a Scorpio. Like take him out. But I love because I didn't know the premise of this when I started watching. I just love Stephanie, and I was like, I'm in. I don't care about anything else. I watch whatever Stephanie does. But then watching her try and explain what was going on between the plexiglass in that first episode is so funny when you have to have this woman who, like you said, she has to have uncomfortable conversations over and over and over again. What for you guys was the one that was the most fun to get to kind of figure out like how she had to tell somebody the situation that they were going to be in?
Well, that off of that example, I know that because that scene really, I think, encapsulates a lot and a lot of the theme of the show and the humor of the show, which is I'm delivering this tragic, heavy news to somebody while saying I'm causing it. I'm at fault. And we are just like, do we put this in a bank? Like, is this just behind like plexi? Like, how do we make this weird and awkward and feel everyday and real, but then have to deliver this horrible news. We had a lot of fun with the different ways. I think because we had people that she had good relationships with, and ones that were like one night stands. So I think there's one for me that I won't talk about too much, but we really got to blend the tones. I think
Yeah.
of this is a very heavy thing. This is a serious thing that's going on, but at the same time, it's very light and ridiculous.
I will also add to that I think the John Early
Yes.
one was really fun for us
Yeah.
because he's her one celebrity. He's playing himself. So he's her one celebrity that she had sex with, and her having to go find John Early and deliver this news to him
And where she finds
and
him
where she
and where
finds
he's on
him.
his way to.
That
Yeah.
was quite fun for us.
Yeah, that was like a weird dream. Not for just I love John Early, but not for John Early, but like to be like I had sex with a celebrity, and then B, I have to go find that celebrity for
Right.
another time to tell them like, hey, you might be dying.
Right.
But with the show too, you have so many fun guest stars. Like in the first episode, not only is it Phineas right out the gate, you also have Josh Segura, who I love, and I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And then I continued. But like when you have a show that allows you to have that, did you have certain dream people that you wanted to include?
John
Yeah.
Early. John Early was the dream. I will say we got lucky with all of them. They all became the dream. But from day one, when it was the wish list of like, we have such an opportunity here to bring in like fun guys and girls and have fun with them. And it was make the list. We knew we wanted him on the list. We knew we wanted one celebrity. So we just put that together and he was her celebrity on the list. But everyone we got ended up being like, we couldn't believe how lucky we were that we were getting these great people to come in and just elevate everything we were doing.
Yeah. For last quick thing, I just want to ask, you have, I love so many little elements about this. Like she talks to her friend, and then her friend's streamer boyfriend just has like words of wisdom in the background that he kind of just like says, and you're like, oh, you were listening. But with so many moving parts, what was like the biggest challenge of making sure like all of these characters who we meet briefly are so strong and so important when we like so that the audience cares that this man is probably going to die at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think sorry. Um, I mean, I think all of it, we wanted to approach it from like a point of view of comedy for sure, but just the reality of it. Like we kept asking ourselves, like, what would you do if this was really happening to you? Like it's a very high concept thing, but wanting to treat it in a really grounded way. So, when she has to go back and deliver all this information to people, that's one element of it. But also she's like, go to the gynecologist, like what is going on? Go to the police, like, hey, all these people are dying. Something's happening here. Like what's, trying to figure it out. So I think all of those elements coming together feels like something that was really exciting for us.
And I just wanted to say, like, I love the show very, very much, and I want to see more of it, and I want more men to die. So thank you guys, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see Late.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Have a great one.